Cody Johnson and Carrie Underwood with the week's hottest song, I'm Gonna Love You. Later, we're going to find out if they love where they are in this week's chart on Country Countdown USA. Each week, I'm joined by a top country star who gives me a hand counting down the hits. Along this week, I've got Preston and Chris from LoCash. How are you guys?
What's going on,
We're
brother?
doing good, brother.
I was going to say, it's been a minute since I've seen you guys. I think the last time you were here was during the pandemic, and you were remote. You were in Florida,
I was
maybe.
in Florida.
And I'm not sure. I can't remember
where I was.
You were.
Who knows?
I still don't know where you're at. You know, we're in Nashville right now.
So it's good to have you here face to face. There's a lot going on with you guys since I saw you last. Started your own record label. Got
That's
a
right.
big hit going on the radio right now. So things are good for LoCash.
It feels good, man. Since the pandemic, huh? Since 2020 we were here.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it feels good. Started our own record label and kind of be able to put our hands and kind of control what we've always dreamed about it. Got a great team.
Right.
We got them.
Well, kind of, I guess, in control of your music.
Yeah, we've
as
always
much as
wanted
anything, right?
We always wanted to have more control, make quicker decisions, and we finally got that. And so now we're moving at lightning speed. We're getting ready to start signing some new artists, and we're excited about that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You're going to sign?
Super excited about that.
Wow.
The first goal was to get Hometown Home into the top 10, and we've achieved that. And then wherever it lands from here, it'll just be a great blessing. And then we wanted to sign new artists, like I said, and we've got our eye on a couple folks, so it's going to be fun.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
Well, there's lots to talk about with you because we will talk about you being on the road. We'll talk about that new album that's coming. I haven't seen a date for it, but it is around here somewhere, right? That has Hometown Home on it.
Yeah, well, I think it's going to be April, so it's coming soon.
All right,
it's
very
coming
good.
fast.
We'll talk a lot about that. Lots to do with LoCash as we get along. Right now, we'll get things started at number 30. Here's Nate Smith, Fix What You Didn't. And Carrie Underwood with the week's hottest song, I'm Gonna Love You. Later, we're going to find out if they love where they are in this week's chart on Country Countdown USA. Each week, I'm joined by a top country star who gives me a hand counting down the hits. Along this week, I've got Preston and Chris from LoCash. How are you guys?
What's going on,
We're
brother?
doing good, brother.
I was going to say, it's been a minute since I've seen you guys. I think the last time you were here was during the pandemic, and you were remote. You were in Florida,
I was in
maybe.
Florida.
And I'm not sure. I can't remember
where I was.
You were.
Who knows?
I still don't know where you're at. You know, we're in Nashville right now.
So it's good to have you here face to face. There's a lot going on with you guys since I saw you last. Started your own record label. Got a big hit going on the radio right now. So things are good for LoCash.
It feels good, man. Since the pandemic, huh? Since 2020 we were here.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it feels good. Started our own record label and kind of be able to put our hands and kind of control what we've always dreamed about it. Got a great team. We got them.
Well, kind of, I guess, in control of your music.
Yeah, we've
as
always
much
wanted
as anything, right?
We always wanted to have more control, make quicker decisions, and we finally got that. And so now we're moving at lightning speed. We're getting ready to start signing some new artists, and we're excited about that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You're going to sign?
Super excited about that.
Wow.
The first goal was to get Hometown Home into the top 10, and we've achieved that. And then wherever it lands from here, it'll just be a great blessing. And then we wanted to sign new artists, like I said, and we've got our eye on a couple folks, so it's going to be fun.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
Well, there's lots to talk about with you because we will talk about you being on the road. We'll talk about that new album that's coming. I haven't seen a date for it, but it is around here somewhere, right? That has Hometown Home on it.
Yeah, well, I think it's going to be April, so it's coming soon.
All right,
it's coming fast.
We'll talk a lot about that. Lots to do with LoCash as we get along. Number 28 with Friday Night Heartbreaker. We're counting down the hits this week with the guys from LoCash, and I got to tell you, your name came up a few weeks ago when Dirk Bentley was in here as my co-host.
I just saw LoCash out in D.C. I had to catch a flight. I had to leave the hotel at 3:45 in the morning, so I just stayed there on the lobby just because I had to go anyway. I don't want to go sleep for an hour, and I bumped into the LoCash guys. Anyway, they're hanging out with Michael Love of the Beach Boys. You know, I had never met him before. I grew up listening to the Beach Boys Christmas album, all the other songs. Ended up talking to Michael Love for about an hour and a half.
Wow.
And what a cool guy.
Yeah.
I mean, he's
What
like
a
80,
history.
84 maybe, and sharp as a tack, funny. But anyway, LoCash, they've done some recording with him. They're buddies with him. They do shows with him, you know, with the Beach Boys. And so it was just great seeing those guys. Like I said, I have so much respect for the way they have just, like I said, the perseverance. It's amazing.
That's awesome. It was fun seeing Dirks. I was we were sitting in the hotel in D.C.
I feel like he doesn't age either.
This guy walks by.
He doesn't age.
I mean, we've all had a few drinks, right? It's about 2 a.m. And I look up, and this guy walks by in D.C., and he looks just like Dirks. And I was like, is that Dirks Bentley? So I get up, and I go over to the bar, and I find him, and I say, it is Dirks. So I go, I say, hey, Dirks. He's, what are you doing, man? And I said, well, I was just sitting over there having drinks with the Beach Boys, and I see you walk by. And he says, what, the Beach Boys are here? And so I grab him, I said, I want to introduce you to Mike Love. And so I bring him over, I surprise Chris. I'm like, look who's here, it's Dirks. And then it turns into a party.
We didn't see him for like 5 years or something. Maybe
Yeah, it's
more
been a
than
minute.
that,
so it was fun.
But he's one of the guys, man. He gets it, you know. He grinds like us. He did grind like us, and so there's a mutual respect there, and he's got great music and a great person.
LoCash, and of course, speaking of beach, we're just talking about you guys hanging out a little bit with Mike Love of the Beach Boys. What exactly is your connection to him?
We had a song called Beach Boys. We wrote this song thinking like, you know, hey, let's take the country to the beach, boys.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we had this idea, and we
used
ended up,
I Get Around, but we turned it into a drink. I Get Around, we'll drink them down. So we needed to get approval from the Beach Boys.
Really?
So we had to wait for Mike Love's approval and Brian's approval. Mike calls.
Man, one
Preston.
day my phone rings, and I'm like, it's unknown phone number. I didn't want to answer it. So I was like, this is going to be a bill collector or something, you know? Unknown. I didn't want to answer, but I thought better. So I'm sitting in my driveway. I just got home, and I answer the phone. I'm like, hello? And he's like, hey, it's Mike Love from the Beach Boys. And I was like, no way, you know? And I said, how'd you get my number? And so we ended up talking for like 30 minutes, and we hit it off on the phone right away. We saw eye to eye on life and music and our wives and kids and things like that. We just talked about everything. I called Chris. I said, Chris, Mike Love just called. He approved the song, and he wants to hang out with us immediately. And he's like, no way. So we take a bus. We drive down to Tuscaloosa, Alabama. We go to the Beach Boys concert backstage. We set up a studio in the dressing room backstage at Tuscaloosa, and we record our song Beach Boys with the Beach Boys.
Well, that is just so cool. I mean, you got to love it, right? I mean, hanging out with the Beach Boys. And we are going to get back to the countdown here at 27. Number 26 with This Heart. We're counting them down with Chris and Preston from LoCash. And we talked at the top of the show about you guys having new music coming up real soon. What can you tell me?
Well, we had a date, and then we actually just got another song that we started.
I want to say it's April 18th.
Yeah, I think
So wait a minute, you're going to
that's
put another song on this? You are.
This is
never
crazy.
done. It's
We're not
never
supposed
done.
to talk about this, but we're going to tell
we
the
can
whole
with
story.
Lon. We could talk about this with
We're
Lon.
going to tell you the whole story.
Okay.
You can use it or not use it, whatever. But so the album's done. 2 nights ago, I get this text message at midnight. So I check it, and it's this song, and I love the title. And so I click on the song, and I was like, I'll just listen to this while I'm making popcorn. So I press play, and I turn it down real low because I got 3 kids sleeping in the house, you know. So I turned down real low, and I was like, wait a minute, I think I like it. I start turning it up. My wife comes in the kitchen. She's like, what are you doing? And I was like, I love this song. And she goes, what song is it? I said, I think it's to be the title track to our album. I think we're going to cut this song. And she's like, no way, you're done.
Yeah,
and I was
album's
like,
done.
Right.
We got our PR going.
Yeah.
Hey, come on, I need the name of the album tomorrow.
I know. And so I'm like, okay, I'm going to sleep on it. I'm not even going to call Chris tonight. I'm going to sleep on this, see if I'm thinking about it in the morning.
Yeah, well, this sounds like the start to a pretty great story. So I want to put you on hold a second, and we'll find out what happens after. Scotty McCreery again at number 25. That's Fall of Summer. We're counting down the hits for the guys from LoCash. And Preston, you were just in the middle of a story about getting this call at midnight, about this last-minute song for your new album. And you mentioned that you wanted to sleep on it before you called Chris. So kind of what happened that next morning?
I wake up thinking about the title. And so I get Chris in the truck, and I said, okay, don't think about anything. I'm just going to press play. I want you to hear a song. And so he gets in the truck. I push play. I crank it up. I like my music loud. I'm sitting in my truck. I don't want to make eye contact with Chris because I didn't want to be brokenhearted. I don't want to be wrong. Right? So I'm just like looking out the windshield. I'm trying to look over at Chris. We're not even halfway through the song. He's like, done. Yeah. And I was like,
I said, stop it.
Done. He said, stop the song. And I was like, oh boy, he doesn't like it. He's like, it's the title track to our album. It's the title track to our tour.
Possibly next single.
Maybe next single.
I'll tell you right now,
idea.
because you guys are going to, when it comes out, you're going to hear it. It's called Bet the Farm. and it's the title track to our album.
That's just where we are in our life right now. We bet the farm.
We took
on
all the
ourselves.
chips that we've worked for all this life and just pushed it right back in the pot.
No, what a great story. And I love how you're able to do that because now you guys are running your own label, right? Once again, though, I want to put the story on hold a second, and we'll come back, talk some more about Bet the Farm in a minute. But back to the countdown at 24, here's Kelsey Hart. Ballerini and Noah Khan at number 23, Cowboys Cry 2. We're counting them down here with Chris and Preston from LoCash, and we were talking about the new album, Bet the Farm, that's coming on April 18th. And there's another song there that really caught my eye, too. Love the whole notion of Isn't She Country?
Yeah.
Yes, huge Stevie Wonder fans.
And so, obviously, you have Stevie Wonder's blessing on this.
Yes, we do. We had to go to him, and finding Stevie Wonder is not easy. But we found him. We got the approval.
And he said he absolutely loves it and actually wants to be a part of country music some more.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Which is really great.
And that's pretty cool, too.
Yeah.
I think.
Having the blessing is from Stevie Wonder is everything. It's pretty awesome.
Amazing. And we're talking about a song called Isn't She Country that's on the new LoCash album, Bet the Farm, which is available on April 18th. 21 with Park. We're counting them down here with Chris and Preston from LoCash, and you guys have lots of connections with Tyler, don't you?
Man, we go so far back with T-Hub. I think when he first came to town, we became buddies, and we started writing together. We had similar sounds, similar flavors to the creative juices, and then he started co-producing with us. What was
Brothers
that
album.
like on the Brothers album?
The Brothers album he
So
co-produced.
Corey Crowder and T-Hub produced the Brothers album. So we were in the studio a lot together.
And of course, we're talking about Tyler Hubbard, who is there at number 21, as we move on to number 20 in the countdown. One to number 20, Truck on Fire. We're counting them down with the guys from LoCash. We've been talking about the new album, Bet the Farm, that's coming out on April 18th. Tell me about another one of the songs on here that kind of caught my attention. It's called When I'm Older.
We were doing a string of 6 shows in a row in Vegas when we wrote this song. So we're sitting in that room, and it's about 30 minutes till showtime, and our tour manager is saying, hey boys, it's time to go downstairs, it's time to do the show. And this When I'm Older idea hit us with 30 minutes to go before showtime, and we literally just started slanging lines out as fast as we could, one after another, and we wrote this thing in less than 20 minutes. And so we sang it that night in the show, acoustic, just to see if people liked it, and they loved it. And so we knew we had a good one.
something, yeah.
Wow, that-
I mean, we even sent it to Keith Urban, and he put it on hold for 2 years.
Seriously?
Yeah, he had it on hold. Well, you know, we wrote "You Gonna Fly" for Keith, so
Right.
had his number, burning a hole in my pocket, and I'm like, maybe I should send this to him and see if he likes it. And the guys were like, send it to him, send it to him. So I send When I'm Older over to him, and he writes back, and they're like, what'd he say? And we're like, well, let's look. And all it had was some cheese. And I went, he doesn't like it. He thinks it's cheesy. And I was like, oh no, because it was the emoji of cheese.
Right.
So I sent a question mark back. And he wrote back, and he sent the mouse, and he said, the mouse wants the cheese. And I was like, oh, I like it. And so he put it on hold immediately, and we thought we had another Keith cut, and we were celebrating. And some time went by, and then it didn't quite fit on his project at the time. And so he let it go, and then it fell back in our hands. So, blessing.
Yeah, and of course, we're talking about Keith Urban. And as you mentioned, he recorded a song that you guys wrote called You Gonna Fly. Ella Langley up 1 to number 18, Weren't for the Wind. I'm counting them down here this week with Chris and Preston from LoCash. And, you know, we mentioned it's been a few years since you guys have been in here, and want to kind of just talk about your life. And Preston, let's start with you.
Okay.
Just your life in the last 4 years. You've had a few things going on.
I've had some babies. I got a 9-year-old, a 6-year-old, and a 1-year-old. So we've got our hands full right now. And I forgot all the things you can't do when you have a 1-year-old. You're stuck at home a little bit more. But I tell you what, it was the perfect timing with the launch of the record label, sitting down with Chris a lot to write songs on the bus for the new project, and we just toured a lot, you know. So I think that kind of sums up my life. I got a great wife at home that holds down the fort, and she celebrates me when I come home every day. You know, when I come home from a long run, they're on the front porch having a front porch party, and I love that stuff. And she makes me out to be a hero, even though when I'm gone a lot, it takes its toll on the family, and the same with Chris.
Yeah, I have 3 too, man. Together we got 6. So
he got
crazy.
started before me, though. So.
I did. I have a 14-year-old, an 8-year-old, and a 7-year-old. So they're crazy. Cheerleading, competitions, baseball, everything. My son is baseball. I'm a huge baseball fan. So, like Preston said, we've just been writing a lot. Blessed. Health is great, and just staying healthy. I'm a baseball fanatic. So I I opened up a batting cage in Tampa.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I have that on the side, going down. My wife loves it, so she works it, and because I'm never there. But when I am, it's baseball dad, constantly.
Yeah, but you got to love it, right?
Yeah.
I am going to pause this for a second. We'll come back. Old Dominion again at number 17, Coming Home. We're counting them down here with Chris and Preston from LoCash, and up next on the countdown is Kane Brown. You saw a lot of him in big places.
Oh, yeah.
Stadiums.
Kane took us to our first stadiums, man. That was fantastic.
First time you walked out on that stage at a stadium.
Woo! Unbelievable. It was Fenway.
You guys have been playing together a long time at a lot of different places. That's a lot of real estate.
Yes. It was
What was
I'll
your
never
first
forget
thought as you walked out there?
Boy, your heart's beating fast.
Yeah.
And the whole place is green. I mean, it's Fenway in Boston.
Yeah, all the stadiums you
Of
play
all the
Fenway
stadiums,
first.
here we go.
Which is the first Major League Baseball stadium ever.
Kane made us the second act of 4. So Ray Lynn went first,
Right.
and then we came on. And, it was just so much excitement backstage. Kane's back there. He comes out to watch our show every single night.
It was unbelievable. I mean, I love Boston anyway. Boston has a great market for us. Huge country music fans up there. And we came out, and we ended up singing Sweet Caroline, which is what they play at the Red Sox games.
Sure.
Yeah.
So we ended up singing it, and the crowd sang it back to us. It's a surreal moment, man. It's unbelievable.
Drew Baldridge again at number 14 with Tough People. We're counting them down with Chris and Preston from LoCash. Preston, we were just talking about your kids a little bit ago. You mentioned you have 3. Would you say 9, 6, and 1?
Yeah.
I'm always amazed that kids, they develop personalities way before you think. Think, 14, 15, no.
Yeah.
By 9 and 6.
Oh, it's crazy.
So
Yeah.
tell me about.
So Love is my 9-year-old, Love Lily, and she loves gymnastics. She loves cheer, but she has this crazy passion for fashion already. And she draws dresses every day, and then she cuts them out, and then she finds fabric, and we got her a little sewing machine. She started working to make them for her Barbies, but they look like real dresses that you would go buy in a store. And so we're just trying to lean into that a little bit with her and stay creative. I love the creative process of it. My little boy Legend, he's 6. He's basically Ric Flair. I'm raising Ric Flair.
You hear that?
We actually have a picture of Ric Flair holding Legend in a headlock, and it's a really cool
great,
picture. I'm getting it blown up for his room, but he loves music. He plays the drums. Eddie Bayers from the Opry, the drummer, he gave my son his first set of drums, and it's amazing. And he plays the drums every day.
A Hall of Famer giving yours.
Right.
I know.
Sing.
And secretly, I think he can sing, but he won't sing for anybody.
Yeah.
I still
but he's
think
already
he's going to
writing
be
songs.
a monster truck driver.
He loves monster trucks.
I think that's what he's going to be.
Yeah, so he's already been in the driver's seat of Gravedigger and stuff like that, so he loves Monster Jam. And then my little girl, Lion, she is only 1, but she's like our comic relief right now. She knows she's funny, and she is controlling the house, and it's fun to watch.
All L's.
All else, yep. Love.
Zimmerman at number 12 with Holy Smokes. We're counting them down here with Chris and Preston LoCash, and we just heard a little bit about Preston's 3 kids. So Chris will kind of get to you here. Just give me the rundown on your 3 kids.
My kid's 14-year-old is Caden, and he's a 14-year-old boy. So he's baseball his life. He just tore his meniscus, so he's out for 3 months.
Oh, wow.
He's taking it good though, and he'll get back to it. He's a great pitcher. He's a stud. There's a lot of talent in Florida for baseball.
Yeah,
Tons.
for sure.
My little girl Remy, she is going to be my singer and star. I mean, her voice is getting
Is
better.
it our
and
middle
better.
kids? That's so.
It's the
maybe
middle
it
kids,
is,
man. And every day she started theater now, and she's getting into it. She does a lot of cheer, but I see her secretly singing in the mirror, watching her moves, and I'm like. And she's more of a mommy's girl, but she'll come to me about that stuff. And
She also has a lot of courage.
she does. She's very brave.
Right.
She's very stubborn. She gets that from her mom. But also, she has got a drive. Like, when she wants something, she's going to get it. And I see that she has that mentality, which it takes in this career. So I think she's going to be a star. My little Violet, she is 7. She is a daddy's girl. She does everything a daddy. She's not scared to pass gas. She's not scared to. She's not scared to blame it on other people in the elevator. She doesn't. She's my comedian, no doubt. And
your wife must love all that.
It's unbelievable. It's like his youngest is the comic relief. She is our comic relief and our blessing that makes us smile every day. Yeah. So good kids, and they're best friends. So my little ones are best friends with his little ones.
Yeah, as it should be, right? And that's just recent number 1. I ain't saying. We're counting them down here with Chris and Preston from LoCash, and you guys want to talk a little bit about Jordan?
Yes, Jordan, man. He has more babies than us now.
I think so.
Yeah.
We always get a
it's
suite.
like a competition or something going on there.
We always get a suite for Monster Jam, and we take the kids, and my little boy leads the way from the monster trucks. And Jordan Davis is always on the road performing or on tour, and his wife and kids are always in that Monster Jam suite with us. And so it's fun to watch his boys loving monster trucks, and we go pretty far back with Jordan, writing songs and hanging out and doing guitar pulls and stuff. So I told him we want to be on tour with him. Jordan, if you're listening, let's go.
Just another good guy too, man. One of the good old boys.
Yeah.
He loves the life. He's a good family man, and we kind of just stick together.
Walling up 1 and number 9, I'm the problem. Chris and Preston from LoCash are my co-hosts this week, and guys, your names came up a few weeks ago when Parmalee was in here as my co-host, and they were telling me just that they've known you guys for a really long time.
Yeah,
it's good friends of ours. Actually,
some of the first guys we met when we moved to Nashville.
They were, man.
Yeah, and they've been
good friends
grinding with us ever since. Yep.
I love that song they have out now too, man. Hometown Home is a great song. Just excited to see them guys dropping that song. It's great, man.
And they had one of the
they were
cut on one of our first albums.
Yeah, back in the day they were writers on
a song
that.
called Back in the Day. So yep.
Yeah,
that's our boys, man. I mean, if anybody compares to LoCash, it's them. I mean, we're the same. We're cut by the same cloth.
Yeah.
We're grinders. They're good guys. They're fantastic singers, songwriters, and we see them everywhere. Every time we see them, we just stop and we just hang. So, I mean, it's the way it is. And
I called Matt one night. Those boys were going number 1. And I wanted to wait until it was official on Saturday night, and it was number 1 on the chart. And so I waited till midnight, and I thought, this old boy is going to be having a cold drink. He's going to be celebrating. So I called him up, and he was in the studio fine-tuning another song right then.
Wow.
And I said, do you realize you're number 1 right now? Stop working tonight. Get out of that studio and go celebrate. And he cheered. But, that just is... It's a tip of the hat to how hard they work, too. I mean...
Number 8 with Texas. We're counting down the hits here with Chris and Preston from LoCash, and up next, somebody you wanted to talk about, Zach Top.
Yes,
Yeah.
my favorite.
Yeah.
My favorite. I'll never forget driving down the street, and he was singing the radio song. So I was like, who is this guy? I mean, I grew up 90s country. I love 90s country. It was a jukebox. I could tell you every 90s song there is. But he starts, I was like, that guy would be huge in the 90s. I would actually listen to him right now on the radio.
Yeah.
And then we started doing shows together, and my gosh, I mean, I've never seen anything like it.
We did a show in Charlotte, and imagine this night. The place is sold out, and it's a guitar pull. So it's going to be LoCash, then Zach Top, then Chris Jansen, then Scotty McCreery. And that's it. Just the 4 artists right there. And you go one song, and then Zach sings one song, and and that's how a guitar pull works. And he's holding his own.
Right.
Holding his own.
I mean, the whole place is dressed like him. They're wearing shirts like him. They're singing.
It was like they were starching shirts. It was It
Girls
was crazy.
are screaming, "Marry me!" I mean, it's like you're watching Garth Brooks happen. In the early stage or something.
Yeah.
It was really phenomenal to watch, and it's encouraging. It's inspiring, and to think that it still happens like that, and to watch it explode.
Yeah.
Well, we're really cheering Zach Top on. We love him. He's a good brother, man.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of buzz about Zach Top right now, right? Both as a singer and a player. And Zach is got again at number 4. This town's been too good to us. We're counting them down here with Chris and Preston from LoCash. We now come to your song at number 3, and want to talk about the video here and start with one thing I noticed: the people who starred in your Hometown Home video, the man and the woman.
Yeah.
Are they also in the video for another new song of yours called Buzzin'?
It is.
So there's a story.
Did you shoot them both at the same day? It was just
And you'll never believe this. There's a third one. It's a trilogy. It's like a Star Wars trilogy.
Yeah, well, you remember back in the 90s, Travis Tritt had like the trilogy videos that you seen together. And that's kind of what we did with this one.
So their names are Maggie and Jaron, and they're big online. They're like viral
Huge
online.
influencers.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and so we reached out
Are they a
to
couple?
them. Yeah,
Yes.
they're a couple.
Let's
They're
see,
married.
this
And she's
is how
pregnant
far
now, too.
behind I am in social media. I didn't know they were a viral thing.
They're about to have a baby any minute. And so we called them and said, hey, would you fly to Nashville and be in 3 videos? And it'll be a little trilogy of our like visualizers that come out early before the album. And they were like, we would love to. And so they flew to town and we shot all 3 videos in one day. And it was awesome.
So what's the third one?
It's called When I'm Older. And they're slow dancing and being romantic in that one. And it's fun. I'm so glad that you noticed they were in the video like that, in the 2 videos up to 3. So no one's noticed that yet. So it's pretty cool.
Wow, that led to an even better story than I thought. We should mention, too, that all 3 songs we're talking about are on your number 1. It's at number 2 this week. That's Liar. We're counting them down here with Chris and Preston from LoCash. And Preston, back to you a second. One thing that I've been wanting to ask you is about the Merle Haggard T-shirt that you're wearing today. I mean, story come with that?
You know, I grew up on church music, and so during COVID, we were out of jobs. Nobody was doing anything. And my kids need to get out of the house, and so I was like, I'm going to build them a playground in the backyard. So I built them this big playground, and I'm a one-man show building this playground, and I decided that I was going to listen to all of Waylon and all of Merle.
Whoa.
Because I had already
Yeah.
read that this was going to take me like 2 weeks to build this thing. And so I was like, I'll just be out here with a boombox and I'll listen to all of Waylon, all of Merle, and I'm going to make a decision. Who am I? Am I going on Waylon's team or am I going on Merle's team?
Right.
And when it was over, the playground was done, and I
you
was Merle.
Merle?
I mean, I was like, hands down, that was the songs, the content, just the attitude. I loved it all.
Yeah, certainly totally unique artist, right? And great songwriters. And glad to see that you're on. Johnson with his 4th number 1. This one with Carrie Underwood, I'm Gonna Love You. And there they are, the top 30 country hits of the USA as compiled by Country Air Check. We've been counting them down here with Chris and Preston from LoCash, and you guys are on the road. You're working. Hit Records means you see America.
Yeah.
Preston, you can start us off there.
Yeah, we're going to be out in Denver on April 11th. We're going to be in Camarillo, California on the 12th. Roanoke Rapids, North Carolina on the 19th. St. Petersburg Beach, Florida on the 26th. That's down by Chris's
That's
house.
That's a home show
That's
for
right.
you, right?
That's
I might
10
walk
minutes.
there.
And then we're going to be in Boston on May 3rd. Can't wait to get back to Boston.
And of course, the current hit is Hometown Home. And we broke the news right here that it's going to be called Bet the Farm.
Bet the Farm.
Right? I love that. Thanks for that.
Yeah.
Best with that, as always, man. It's great to have you here. And thanks again for helping me count down the hits.
Say hi to your family for us, too.
You got it.
Country